But I am here in Hurst, Texas to attend the Homeschool Expo, and I got my little man, he's in the back. He came with me because Daddy had to work today. So I will be attending the expo for a couple of hours to check it out, observe, and absorb as much information as possible. And so I will be sharing more about it coming up soon. Okay. So I decided to go to the Texas Homeschooling Expo in Hurst, Texas on Saturday because I really wanted to gather some information about homeschooling. As you know, I have a special focus on homeschooling moms that enjoy traveling, but I really wanted to go to the homeschooling event to gather some information for myself as well. I have a 4-year-old who is currently attending daycare school, and next year he will be turning 5. So I wanted to gather some more information about homeschooling because I wanted to see exactly which direction I wanted to go in for as I'm currently looking into public school. I've also looked into a charter school where I gathered a little bit of information this year. And then I'm also looking to do homeschooling. So he will be going to his current school for one more year. And then the goal is to figure out in between that time what we want to do. If, I want to go the homeschooling route, if we want to go the homeschooling route, charter school, public school, what will be best for him. Also, we have a little one that's on the way. So also looking towards, as he continued to get older, which route to go in for him as well. And so I went to the homeschooling event this Saturday and I spent about 2.5 hours there. I had a real good time. So I went and I wanted to spend a little bit more time there, but the thing was I'm pregnant. I'm actually 23 weeks pregnant. So my energy is not the best like if it was before, I got pregnant. So I listened to my body, and the main thing that I did enjoy was there were 2 workshops. I was trying to attend 3, but it was 2 workshops that I was able to attend because I really wanted to get information on, with my schedule, how can I work and also do homeschooling. So I really received some great information. So 2 of the workshops were by Heidi Washington of Continuing Education for Homeschool. And the second one was by Sean Taylor of Sean the Homeschool Guru. Heidi Washington, her workshop or her session was called "Is It Possible to Work in Homeschooling? A Realistic Look at Trade-Offs." And basically what she was talking about is that it's very common to see fellow moms trying to figure out if they can work their job, which more than likely they're working a full-time job, and also doing homeschooling. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and you can definitely, if you're a mom or somebody that homeschools your child, I'm assuming moms are mostly homeschooling their children. It might be where the mom and the father are doing both, and they're taking turns as well. So that might be happening as well. But I was trying to see how can I look into working a full-time job, also working a business, and homeschooling my children. And far as with my schedule is remote, but it's very scheduled. So when I'm working my full-time job, I'm doing the 15-minute breaks, the 30-minute lunches. And then when I get off of work, I invest a little bit of time invest some time into my business as well. And so I was trying to figure out, that's why this session was so important to me. Okay, how am I going to go about factoring in homeschooling my children while I'm working this full-time job, while I'm working a business? And so I thought her session was really important for me to attend to get information on that. So one thing that Sean Taylor was saying when she was talking about when she was doing her workshop, was she was saying if you are doing longer than 6 hours of homeschooling, something is not right. You might need to reevaluate if you want to do homeschooling for your child and stuff like that. So I thought that was very interesting because I'm so used to, I used to go to school. I went to public school, and I would be there pretty much all day, 6, 7, 8 hours. I even for a short period of time went to daycare because when my father passed away, my biological father passed away, and my mom was a widower. She was working a full-time job, and she had to send me to a daycare to be able to work, right? So I know how it is to go to school and be there for 6, 7, 8 hours and then come home and you spend time with family. That's kind of like what my son, he's 4 years old. That's kind of like what he's doing now when he goes to his school daycare. Another thing is when Miss Heidi Washington was talking and I was listening to her workshop, she had something that was that I thought was very interesting. She had, I don't know if she had 2 or 3 kids, but she was saying that she asked the question, are all my kids a fit for homeschool? I immediately thought that when a parent, or parents, when they have 2, 3, 4 kids, for example, I thought they would homeschool all of their children. Well, come to find out, Heidi was saying that she had one child that that they did homeschool. Her and her husband did homeschool, but their other child was very good and enjoyed going to his public school. So they said that they got him out of school and tried to do the homeschooling thing, but it didn't work out. They sent him back to school, and because he just excelled being in school. And then he was there for a little bit, and then they went back to homeschooling him later on. And so that was kind of a little bit eye opener for me. I just assumed that, hey, if you have 2, 3, plus kids, that all of the children will be homeschooled and none of them will be in public school. But Heidi actually spoke on how she had one kid that was actually being homeschooled and doing well, but the other child was just not doing as well homeschooling. So they sent him back to public school, which he had his friends, he had his sports and stuff like that, and he was just excelling real good in public school. So that was kind of something that I didn't really expect. Another thing that I did like is Sean Taylor. She had a PowerPoint slide that I really like to go over, and I actually took a picture of it to go over how the length of each lesson. So when you are homeschooling your child, she was showing 4 to 7 years old that the length of the lessons would be 5 to 15 minutes for a child in that age group, right? So my child is 4 years old. He'll be 5 next year in January. So let's just say if I, wanted to homeschool him in late of 2027, then the length of each lesson would be 5 to 15 minutes at his age. Now, my current child that I'm pregnant with, 1 to 3 years old, would be 3 to 5 minutes. So it allowed me to see that homeschooling doesn't have to be, longer than an hour, just based off the information that they were providing. If you are a homeschool mom and you are currently homeschooling your children, and you can provide any great information for your schedule, if you work 8-hour shifts, 9-hour shifts, 10, 12-hour shifts, and you homeschool, you and your spouse, or you homeschool, I would love to get any, information, feedback on how you handle your homeschooling with your child or children. Another great resource that I did find was Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook lately to check out. I did sign up for some homeschooling groups, but I have not been on there lately to get more, to look. But I know at one point I did ask some questions about how they were handling homeschooling their children and also their schedules, and got some great information. So I think I need to go back to that to get more information. When Heidi spoke during her workshop, I noticed the main thing she always brought up was about her calendar. Going by her calendar when she was homeschooling her children, going based off of routine with her children when homeschooling them, and then also consistency, prioritizing consistency when it came to homeschooling her children. I noticed her and Sean Taylor, they were speaking a lot about consistency, routine, and having a calendar. So I really enjoyed those workshops. I think that was the main thing that I really enjoyed out of the homeschooling event. I did get a chance to also go and look at some of the vendors and go ask questions at some of the vendor tables. I wish I could have went to more, but the main thing I wanted to do was just listen to my body and understand that I'm pregnant, and just gather as much information as possible, and but not overdo it. And so the workshops and the vendor tables that I did go to, I did learn some information. I also did take cards and stuff like that, so I can definitely check those resources out as well. And I really did enjoy myself. If you can provide any information for as your experience of being a homeschool mom, how you deal with homeschooling and working your job, and how much of a big deal or an influence it is to homeschool your children. Do they enjoy it? Do they not like it? Did you have to stop doing homeschool and go back to public school? What are your thoughts? I would love for you to share in the comments. And until the next video.